If this bar has a bare body, I'm going to treat it as a breakout and follow through. So I think it should get a second leg down and test the low of the biclimax. So I'll sell the close of the bar if it has a bare body. Stops up here. So I have an order to exit 5 shares at 20 cents and the other 5 shares at 40 cents. This is the third time that it's gone down to one of my targets, so I was gonna say if it didn't fail me there, I'd just move my stop to break even, because that would be 3 rejections off of that price. So I wouldn't want to see it reverse up strongly. I got filled on both orders there. Sorry, I don't think I was clear there. I was moving my stop loss down, so I was trying to focus on whether I should move my stop to break even or not. What I was saying is that we got down to I was expecting a second leg down from this bar. We got a pause, and then we had the second leg down, but we continued to bounce from this low and just above my target. And so it did that twice, and I gave it some room, and it got all the way back up to my entry twice. And the third time I was saying if it gets one tick from my target again and bounces back up to my entry, I'll probably exit, because that would just give me it would make it more likely that we've already had the second leg down because we went below this low. And I wouldn't want to see it reverse up 3 times. But while I was doing that and trying to move my stop to break even, it failed me on both targets. I thought that a test of the biclimax low was likely, but it was just taking a lot longer than I thought. It's another example of seeing a printed chart versus trading in real time. Because on the printed chart, you see a big breakout bar, pause, and a second breakout bar. And you don't see all the fluctuations within that bar. I'll show you an example. May 15th, 2020. So we have a parabolic wedge to start, and we start selling off. We get a big breakout bar and a follow-through bar, keeping the gap open. So I'm looking for a second leg down to some target. So here the target was probably the open of the day. But the 2 legs are clear here: breakout bar, pause, breakout bar. And so when you see that, it looks like, and then there's many other examples like this where it's clear that there are two very clear legs. And so here there are also 2 clear legs. When I look at the chart at the end of the day, it makes it seem obvious that there's a breakout and a pause and a second breakout. But as I was explaining, during the trade, it bounced. It probably spent 4 minutes up in this area, and then within the last minute, it collapsed into the second leg. So that's why I tried to give it a little bit more time. I probably would have, maybe 6 months ago, I would have exited on the first or second bounce up to my entry price. But I know what the chart is probably going to look like at the end of the day, and that is that it's probably going to have 2 clear legs down, and it's probably going to test a clear target, which is the biclimax low. So I gave it a little bit more time, but I think that just reinforces the fact that seeing the chart at the end of the day and taking the trade in real time is way different. And I think I've learned that recently, more recently at least, that it's important to give the chart time to look like what you think it should look like at the end of the day. So I thought the third bounce was my limit, but I knew what I thought the chart will probably look like at the end of the day, based on the setup, and so I'm glad I gave it time to work out. So traded 10 shares up here, got out 5 at 20 cents and 5 at 40 cents, so I ended up with $3. I didn't end up getting this trade recorded. I was waiting for a second entry buy down here, and instead we just reversed up extremely strongly and started to accelerate up. So as we accelerated, at the point when I thought it was an extreme surprise bar, I just bought at the market with 10 shares and then scalped out up here when it started to hesitate. I don't know how much I made. I was up 3, so I made $2.96 on it. I didn't price anything in. I just bought at the market, and then once it got up here and stalled for a second, I just hit close position and exited, which is what I typically do on surprise bars like this.